All right. Action. I genuinely don't know how the fuck you started this, so sorry. I genuinely do not know how you started this, so. All right, folks, man, I'm gonna cut up jalapenos. Freaking space.
All right, so we have some very active starter, nice and bubbly. I fed it and it was about there this morning at 7 a.m. It is now 11. I'm going to take anywhere from 175 to 200 grams. Tear my bowl. All right. So that was 200 grams of active starter. And then we are going to do 330 grams of water, but I might do just a little bit less because we are adding jalapenos, which has some water content in it. So I'll probably do like 315 maybe of just tap water.
How many jalapenos you do?
2 per loaf.
And you're doing just one?
I'm doing 2 loaves.
Well, when you watch this video back, you'll see why I need to get 2 different jalapenos. BRB.
Because you ate them?
No. Those 2 are good. The other 2
All right, so that's about 320 grams of water. Now the next part is to whisk it together. You can use one of these Danish dough hook whisks. You don't have to, it can honestly just be anything that kind of whisks it together. And you'll want to completely combine the 2, water and starter. All right, that's pretty well combined. As in there's no more big chunks. Everything's a consistent color. Put the whisk down. And we're going to do 600 grams of flour. So tear it again. And a lot of flour. I use all-purpose flour. All right, 600 grams of flour and 18 grams of salt. We are gonna add cheddar cheese, which has, I guess, a little bit of salt content, so you can do less. Okay, so that was like 12, 13 grams. And then only because I'm feeling lazy, I have the dough hook out on the KitchenAid or Cuisinart. You can do it by hand if you want. You're just combining everything. All right, it is all mixed. It will look pretty dry. Looks like this. It's kind of just falling all over the place. It's a little bit messy. I'm gonna put this in a glass bowl because I'm actually gonna make 2 today, so I'm gonna reuse this. And I have a scraper here just to grab everything. All right, so dough number 1 is in its glass bowl, and I'm going to take a damp towel, and just cover like that and set a timer for 20 minutes.
All right.
Okay, now we're going to make the second one. I'm going to do it the exact same way, and I will not make you watch the second one.
Uh-oh, chat. She fucked up. She was putting in flour and forgot the salt. That's a key ingredient. Y'all taking advice from this lady? This lady. Look at that. Let's go get in there. Someone can look at it. Oh, he looks so cute.
Okay, it has been 20 minutes since we first mixed all of our ingredients together in our first bowl. So I covered it with a damp towel, waited 20 minutes, and now Derek is going to show how to do the stretch and folds with mix-ins. So we have jalapenos and cheddar, and I will have him demonstrate.
Recording?
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take the dough and stretch it out. Careful not to just like tear it right in half. Yeah, and then kind of lay it and get the mix-ins inside. You can kind of push them in so they stick. Otherwise, they just fall right off. Yeah.
As seen here. Luckily,
As
we cleaned the
demonstrated.
counter beforehand.
Yes.
Don't you worry.
And remember, we are splitting the cheese and jalapenos. Yeah.
This is the cheese for 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do leave the seeds. It does have a little bit of a bite, but once it's all cooked in, it's not too bad.
Making a mess.
All right, so now we're gonna fold it in half. You can kind of like push it all together. Yeah, and now we're going to flip it 90 degrees and stretch and fold again. And as you go through the stretch and folds, this will get more and more incorporated. Right now, it may feel like it's really clumped. Yeah, you can just put it in the bowl.
There's cheese in the bottom there. Hopefully that's fine.
Yep, so it may feel wrong to leave it so clumped right now, but it will eventually get spread out. The second round of stretch and folds, it should feel a little bit more like bread dough now rather than just a clump of dry flour. So just want to stretch it and fold it. You can see that my mix-ins are starting to pop out. Push them back in. Now I pick it up to do my stretch and folds, but you could definitely just stretch half of it out of the bowl and plop it back down on itself. But I feel like I get a better fold, I guess, when I pick it up. So once each way and back down for 20. All right, so we are done with 4 stretch and folds of both of my doughs. So I'm going to put them both in the oven. The oven is set to proof, just standard proof, not the fast one. So I'm going to put them in just as is, still have the towel on top, and I will place it in. You can see now the dough is a lot smoother. So I'll put this in. And I will let that sit in the oven until it rises about 30 to 50%. It does take at least a couple of hours, maybe 3-4 hours, but you'll kind of notice it gets bigger and it gets almost bubbly looking, not like a lot of bubbles, but kind of some larger, fluffier bubbles, I guess. It also helps to take a photo of it before you put it in the oven so you can compare it, because sometimes it's hard to tell what 30% rise really looks like if you don't have an original picture of it. So you can take a photo to help. While that is in the oven, I'm going to prep my banneton, if you have one. I'm also going to do one in just a bowl for the cold proofing. Mostly because I only have 1 banneton and I have 2 loaves. So I will show you, at least I'll try to show you what to do if you don't have a banneton. So with the banneton, I have the fabric thing over the top, and I just take this, and I'm just prepping this for when the rising of the dough is done, so it can go right in the fridge after. I take a little bit, a small scoop of flour, and just kind of push it into the cloth. This will help it form a crust so that you can score it nicely and it rises evenly in the oven. You just gently kind of like bring it around. Try to get it up as high as you can. Okay, now let me get a towel for the bowl. Alright, I'm running low on towels, so I'll use this Merry Christmas one, I guess. So in a similar way, I'm just going to put it down so it's like a bowl shape in there. And I've got some leftover flour. Same thing, grab some flour and just like push it in so it doesn't stick itself. And I have no idea how well this will work, so maybe by the end of the video I will be telling you not to do this without a banneton. We'll see. Just make sure it's high enough on the bowl. Alright, so it's starting to look like that. Alright. And I will just, for the sake of dog hair, just take this and kind of cover itself to avoid dog hair, and then I'm going to just stack on top of this, again, just to avoid dog hair piling up. Alright, the dough has been in the oven on proof, and you can see it's a lot bigger now. Both of them are. So we are going to shape them.
Oh, now's my time to shine.
Yep. Oh, I accidentally left that in there. We're going to just lightly flour it, nothing too crazy, and a little bit on your hands. All right, so might need to scrape it out a little bit. You can see it's really sticky. But it will eventually come out. All right, so basically want to spread it out. You don't want to rip it too much, but you'll spread it out like that. And then I'm going to almost fold it into thirds and then roll it up. And then you just kind of spin it and tuck itself in just to make it like really tight. It's Finley sneezing. Okay, so now that is nice and tight there. You're actually gonna do this twice, but the first time you shape it like that, and then I put a bowl back on top of it, again for dog hair purposes. And you're gonna let it rest for 15 minutes and basically just do a little and again to tighten it up again. Okay, these have sat for 15 minutes. All we're going to do now is just re-tighten it a little bit. I'm not going to do the full thing like I did before. Just tuck it in on itself again. And then grab the bottom, kind of pull it all tight together. You're going to flip it into the banneton. So this seam side is up. And again, that's hard to pick up. Pull it tight. And seam side up. Put it into there. Now once it's in here, you do want to cover it with saran wrap or anything, because it's going to sit in the fridge for 1 to 24 hours. I do overnight, so it'll be, well, it's 4 p.m. now, so it'll be till tomorrow morning. You don't want it to dry out, because it will dry out if you don't cover it. So cover it, put saran wrap over it, and let it sit in the fridge for anywhere from 1 to 24 hours, and I will see you after that.